For every mystery, there is someone, somewhere, who knows the truth. Perhaps that someone is watching. Perhaps it's you. Good evening, my dubious dubreuillosaurus. I noticed the Nullface Wanted poster was in the game since launch, posted on this wall on 6th Street. I was curious if any other characters would be foreshadowed in this way, and I found some interesting lore. I searched everywhere for any clues I could find just to discover their stories are directly foreshadowed and hiding in plain sight. The wanted posters posted in the Outer Ring are new Eridu's most wanted. Some of these criminals are heinous enough to have a bounty of 10 million dennies. So join me. Perhaps you may be able to help solve a mystery. Or perhaps you may encounter one that simply cannot be explained. Starting with Benad Hatman. He has a bounty of 10,000 dennies. I think he's the weird detective from Hollow Zero's Lost Item events. He has the same hat and jacket, and if we zoom in on the face, it shows a glare, not eyes. Suspicious. We like him because he gives us stuff. He can do a few crimes, I guess. The one with the pointy hat, the witch or wizard, is always crossed out on the wanted posters. We don't know if they're alive and in prison or if they're dead. This could be connected to the magician set in Hollow Zero. The Resonium imply that they weren't a good person and definitely would have had some kind of bounty. It would be funny if they went bonkers from being in the Hollow and decided to become a wizard instead of a magician. Now, the alien has the same reward as the wizard one, 60,000 dennies. Their wanted poster only shows up in the Outer Ring Hollow near the time distortions ahead warning signs. I think this is confirmation that the time distortions and traveling to the moon are probably connected. This blue graffiti near the wanted poster for Nullface looks like it could be connected as well. Maybe it's a group of people like Nullface, or it could just be one random alien. I also noticed the movie review for Don't Touch has a little alien on it that says, "This movie's story is purely fictional." This could be foreshadowing for how they're introduced. I hope the writers continue the trope of movies being unrealistic compared to what the characters are doing in their lives. The description for Don't Touch says, "The sudden visit of beings from off-planet does not bring the conflict that was expected. These alien beings are slow to act and intellectually inferior. Dr. Samier, who is in charge of the investigation, discovers that they have a very special ability, touch. After touching anything, they are able to imitate and change into it. The investigation team, led by Dr. Samier, begins a new research program to try to transform the aliens into human-controllable tools and even resources. What the team doesn't know is that the first target the aliens came into contact with on Earth was Dr. Samier himself. Although not branded as a suspense film, it has been called a fantasy film that few people can understand in one go. When the identity of the Doctor is revealed, the audience's fear of the extraterrestrials gradually changes to confusion. There were no humans from the beginning." Interesting. Interesting synopsis. This evil bunny has a bounty of 1 million dennies. What were his crimes? How could he be so evil and so cute? The only bunny with a similar look in the Outer Ring that I could find was on this billboard. The eyes are creepy, and the patch on the forehead is in the shape of an X like the poster's left eye. This is also reminiscent of Frank from Donnie Darko, the most unsettling bunny I could think of. When he takes his mask off and turns to Donnie in the movie theater scene, it reveals he's missing his right eye. I know the bunny in the game is missing its left eye, but it's a cult classic and worth mentioning. The only other character associated with bunnies and has a scar in their eye is Joyous. Maybe it's connected to his descendant, or subtly foreshadowing that there's going to be actual past void hunters in the game at some point. Let me know what you think. Now the serious one. This guy's bounty is crossed out and changed. It goes from 10,000 to 10 million. Absolutely bonkers. We also have the clearest image of him. It looks like the Jersey Devil, and we can see this in the graffiti. It's always shown with these words above it, and most of the time there are big scratch marks on the buildings. I think it says 2Tet9, but I could be wrong. It's hard to read. It can be seen in the multiple areas in the Lost Void, but in the Outer Ring areas of the Lost Void. So when you're going through the one and it has another section in the same area, okay, turn around, look at those. Like, there's so much graffiti in there. There's so many posters, things with like little lore drops. I found a quote from Dante's Divine Comedy that's just so eerily similar. It's where they're describing Lucifer. Maybe it'll show up around the time the Order does, possibly as the villain of that arc. In Inferno, while Dante and Virgil are traveling through the ninth circle of hell, they meet Lucifer, and this is how they describe him. "Oh, what a marvel it appeared to me, when I beheld 3 faces to his head. One was in front of us, and that was red. The other 2 were to the latter, joined right o'er the middle of each shoulder blade, and met each other where he had his crest, that on the right, twixt white and yellow seemed. The left one such to look at as are those who come from there, where veilward flows the Nile. Under each face 2 mighty wings stretched out, the size proportion to so huge a bird. Sails of the sea I never saw so large. They had no feathers, but were like a bat's in fashion. These he flapped in such a way," and then he goes on to talk about like what happens when he flaps his crazy wings. Now, the 3 heads having its own set of wings doesn't really fit, but the red head facing Dante and Virgil does. The bat wings and horns also play into the art and tropes that persist to this day. But I will say that it could also be a reference to a Red Oni musician instead of the Wanted poster because of the writing on the back of their shirt being the same as the tag seen near the Red Monster art. We don't know if they're going to show up in the special episodes or main plot, but I have a feeling it's going to be a mix. I hope they talk about the rabbit first. I want to know, what were his crimes? Share all your thoughts with me, please. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much.